In this video, we're going to go over pages 152 to 155 of Chapter 6. Lesson 6 is all about fat grams and calories. Many consumers are concerned about the amount of fat in their diet. The U.S. Department of Agriculture and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services have designed a guide to daily food choices called the Food Guide Pyramid. Many foods naturally contain fat. While some fat is necessary, added fat should be used sparingly in your diet. A guideline is to limit your fat intake to less than 30% of the calories that you are consuming. Suppose that you eat 2,900 calories a day. How many calories of fat is your limit? So we need to figure out what 30% of 2,900 is going to be. Your first step is to take the 30% and turn it into a decimal. We know that this is going to be 0.3 or 0.30. So 2,900 times 0.3 gives me 870. So we should not eat any more than 870 calories of fat in a day. So for this exercise, you're going to calculate the number of fat calories allowed for each group in the chart. So essentially, for all of these, you're going to multiply it by 0.3 for all of these. For example, the first one should come out to 750 calories from fat. And then assuming that we consume 2,200 calories, then we're going to also multiply that one by 0.3 and figure out for the females, they should consume 660. Okay, so multiply that number by 0.3 for males, multiply that number times 0.3 for females, and finish completing the chart. Going on to the next page, we have nutrition labels on prepared foods indicate fat content in grams. Each gram of fat is 9 calories. This is important for you to know. You will need to make a calculation to determine the number of calories from fat in a food product. In one brand of soup, there are 6 grams of fat per serving. Each serving provides 270 calories. What percent of these calories is from fat? So the first thing you want to do is look at how many grams of fat there are. So there's 6, and we know that each gram has 9 calories. So there's 54 calories from fat in this particular brand of soup. So to figure out what percent that is in over the overall calories, we're going to take the 54 calories from fat, put that in the numerator, and divide by the total number of calories, which was 270. When you do this, you can actually just type it in your calculator, 54 divided by 270. 54 divided by 270 should give you the percent right away, so 0.20, which we know is 20%, okay? So the fat calories in this particular brand of soup are 20% of them come from fat. Therefore, they stay within that less than 30% of fat in the guidelines, okay? So you want to stay below 30% if possible. So for this one, we're going to decide which foods have less than 30% of their calories from fat. So we're just going to do the first one together. We're talking about a sesame roll. The serving size is 1 roll. The total calories per serving are 260, and the grams of fat are 4 grams. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 4 grams and we're going to multiply it by 9. So all of these are going to be times 9 because each gram of fat is 9 calories. So I have 36 calories from fat, and then I'm going to divide that by whatever the total amount of calories is, so 260. So you're always going to be dividing by whatever the total amount of calories is. And you're going to get a decimal, and then you're going to turn that into a percent, okay? So this one, once I turn it into a percent, it should be 14%. So this is below 30%, so I want you to put a check mark if it's yes. If it's more than 30%, then you're going to put an X next to it, like for no, it's not within the guidelines of less than 30% fat, okay? Going on to lesson number 7, using calories. So calories are necessary for carrying on basic processes such as heartbeat, breathing, and digestion. The average adult uses 1,400 to 1,650 calories each day just to live. Other activities may require between 700 and 1,400 more calories. This graph shows how many calories are burned per hour by different activities. The amount shown may vary from person to person depending on age, weight, and gender. So by sleeping, every hour that you sleep, Okay, we're just going to estimate all the way down. You burn about 50 calories each hour that you are sleeping, okay? And then when you're sitting, it's about 75. So kind of just estimate here. If you run for a whole hour, you're burning about 700 calories and so on. That's how we're reading this table or this chart. So you're going to answer these questions. How many calories are used in 1 hour of long brisk walk? So I go to brisk walk. That's right about here. So it's about 250 calories burned in an hour. Okay, this table is showing you in 1 hour how much you are burning. So you're going to use this for the rest of the questions on this page. And then the last bit of the lesson of this video is figuring out, like, what if you don't want to walk for a whole hour, only like 45 minutes? Then what do you do there? So here's the first example. Miss Ling walks briskly for 45 minutes. How many calories does she use? Use the information from the previous page to help you. Okay, so we're going to write a proportion. We know that 1 hour of walking is about 250 calories, but I only want to walk for 45 minutes. So how many calories is that? First thing you want to do is make sure that I'm going to do it a little bit differently here. So I know that 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. The reason why I want to turn that into 60 minutes is because the scenario is given to me by walking 45 minutes. So if I don't change the hour to minutes, then I'm going to have different units in the numerator, and I don't want that. I need them to be the same for me to be able to solve it. So in 60 minutes, I burned 250 calories. So I want to know how many calories in 45 minutes. This is a cross multiplication problem, which we've done already. So we're going to multiply 250 times 45. That gives me 11,250. And then when I multiply 60 times x, I get 60x. So I'm going to divide both sides by 60. And I end up with 187.5. We're just going to round up to the next. So 188 calories is how much we are burning with 45 minutes of walking versus a whole hour of walking. Okay, so you are going to use the same idea to solve all of these problems. Okay, so use the table from page 154 to figure out how much it is for 1 whole hour. So if I go back and look up walking slowly, so a slow walk is about 125. Okay, so I have like 125. Oh, sorry, backwards. I'm going to put the minutes on top. So 60 minutes is about 125 calories. And I want to know 20 minutes would consume how many calories, okay? So you're going to cross multiply and do your thing. Your answer should be calories. And in this case, it should come out to be 42. So use the proportion, use cross multiplication to figure out how much it should be. And your answer should make sense, right? If I were to do this and I know that originally I burn 125 calories and my answer comes out to be like 500 calories in 20 minutes, it doesn't make any sense for me to burn more calories in less time. So make sure that your answer makes sense. Okay, and that's the end of this video.